Welcome to the Startup Grind.
How does an entrepreneur get an unfair advantage with his startup? What does that mean for an entrepreneur to just, it's unfair how far ahead that they could possibly be? What is it?
Well,
what makes that
so
up?
the first notion I think of unfair advantage is that so this is going to be Harvard Business School sounding too, but like a lot of people that I know, if you said define capitalism, they would say something like it's a system characterized by competition for limited resources and market clearing prices and trying to appeal to the customer. It'd be something like that, right? Whereas Peter Thiel once said something that I think is insightful. A capitalist is really someone who gathers capital. And so a true capitalist competes by avoiding competition. Capitalism and competition, it turns out, are not synonyms, they're antonyms. And capitalism and competition, because they're opposites, the great competitor refuses to compete. The great competitor, I call it Jerry Garcia's law. So Jerry Garcia was the lead singer of the Grateful Dead, someone who I got to watch while I was a Stanford student. And one time he was in this interview and he said, I don't try to be the best, I try to be the only. And so few startups get that. I get so many pitches where it's like, here's me, here's my competitor. I have 10 checks in the box and they have 8 checks in the box. And I'm like, it's axiomatic that we're not going to be able to work together because you're not trying to be the only. Like when I saw Smule and they did like the Ocarina and they did IMT Pain and all those apps, they were the only version of what they did. They weren't trying to be a better flute than the next guy. They weren't trying to be a better auto-tuning app than the next guy. They were trying to be the first and only of what they did. What's Twitter? Twitter is the only of what Twitter does. Facebook is the only of what it does. And the real opportunity presented by the internet in general is, my dad worked at IBM and Microsoft, so he said, be careful about using the word monopoly ever, because it'll offend some people. But the internet creates the conditions for smart entrepreneurs to create a natural monopoly. And if you think about all great internet companies, that's what they did. eBay, well, I don't want anybody to be offended. eBay, Google, Facebook, maybe some companies I'm involved with, but I won't say. But it's like the goal is to be the only and not the best.